Hey guys, Penny here from Monaco Nail Academy and welcome to part 2 of this set of nails here with Trudi. So in last week's video, we did the full set of extensions, soft gel extensions, plus all of the pigment blends you can see in the background of these nails. And now it's time to spend some time with some cats, starting with one on a branch. And I said in last week's video that this set of nails was very much me learning as I go. I haven't done as much detailed nail art that really properly challenged me in the last couple of years, and starting to make more online content has really pushed me to actually be refreshing what I know. So by the end of this set, I had worked out exactly how to do this set, and we did one of Trudy's hands for the video and then did her other hand after we finished recording. Let me tell you, that second hand was so freaking fast when we knew exactly how we wanted to achieve this. So at the start here, I'm working with acrylic paint. I love acrylic paint. I've talked about it lots of times. Acrylic paint is water-based paint. It's the same sort of thing that you would get in a craft store, except that the Be Creative version is specifically for nail art. So it's really thin, but really highly pigmented. It dries instead of cures. It's really easy to do nice fine line work with. But this bottle is brand new. So it ships from across the world, and the pigment settles a little bit. And this really, I have been shaking it. I need to get one of those things from the hardware store that shakes the absolute jeepers out of a bottle. Anyways, we started with acrylic paint. On this, the second nail I'm painting, the middle finger, I am using gel polish. There are a couple of reasons for that. First of all, experimentation and learning as I go. Second of all, when you do a big block of color, which is what's happening in this nail, you don't really use acrylic paint for that. Acrylic paint is glorified pigment. So if you watched last week's video, the first half of the set, I harped on a lot about how you don't want layers of thick pigment between layers of gel, or the gel won't stick to the other gel. You need gel on gel. With acrylic paint, it's glorified pigment. It is pigment in a medium that is allowing it to become a paint. When it dries, what is left is basically pigment. So acrylic paint is freaking fantastic, but you don't want to be doing giant blocks of color with acrylic paint, or you do have glorified thick layers of pigment. So instead, with this one, I wanted to do at least a base layer of gel polish. I'm using Color Gloss and Swag, and then I can go in and add acrylic paint. Because the other side of things is that gel polish is really designed to be 2 coats, to be thick or to have full coverage, and that's a pain in the butt. Of course, there are gel paints. There's so many fun products that you can use, but this is where we're at, okay? I really love using acrylic paint, and that's what I thought of first for this set of nails. So now we're back to the cat, they're all freaking cats. We're back to the cat on the tree with me thickening up a bit, and this is me using acrylic paint on top of my gel to darken it up a bit. So taking what was a gel layer, but because it was one coat, it wasn't super, super dark, and then taking my acrylic paint, which is super dark, and adding to it. I told you, this video is a very honest exploration of me learning as I go. This is gel polish. I'm working with Bride, Color Gloss in the color Bride, and this is my mini striper, although it is a very customized mini striper because I've lost a million bristles and I just really like this brush. So I'm coming in with Bride and just putting in the highlight lines. Now, on the original image that I give full credit to the original artist for, because I have no imagination and I have to take inspiration from other people, she had the most incredible blending. I don't know how she did it. This is my interpretation of how I would do it, but I had to try and work out how the heck I was going to put shadows in, and I didn't know. What I settled on was using Bride to put highlight lines in, then coming back in with a little bit of Swag on my brush and blending it out, which is what I'm doing here, and then coming back in with Bride if I needed sharp highlight lines after that. You'll see very subtle differences to my brush when I have Bride or Swag because I was not cleaning my brush in between. You can see white on my brush right now. That doesn't mean white is what's on the very tip because I was dipping straight in between the colors and really using them to blend. There was a lot of blending happening. I found it to be an extremely satisfying process though. There's one nail that I did a million years ago that was Bambi. I did it for fun. It took freaking ages because it was rendered. It was all shaded and like very 3D looking. I loved it, but it took forever and I haven't done a lot of that work since, a little bit, but not that much. There's something about blending colors and working with them and not having them dry like when you're painting on canvas. Like, it's so therapeutic. It's like mindfulness kind of stuff. I really, really enjoyed blending the gel polishes. So that's something I definitely want to do a lot more of in future. Getting these eyes to look just right took quite a few back and forths with the blending. There's a little bit of going back with Swag, the black, into the middle and then white again and just blending it out. But I was really happy with how they turned out. This is me putting a blend in on the cat's forehead because next to every highlight line was a shadow. The original work is so freaking pretty and has all these beautiful little shadows and things, which originally I really thought I was going to have to use a much more complicated method to achieve. So being able to just blend gel polish and know that I can easily do that on so many other sets, it was just really, really nice. This is always my favorite part, is adding eyeballs. So I'm using my stylus tool, my artistic stylus tool, but then now coming back in with the Be Creative needle pen for the little extra highlights. This needle pen, you can see mine is broken. It's also discontinued, but it's basically like one of those mechanical pencils, but there's a needle inside. And honestly, could you make one? Could you use a mechanical pencil and just take the lead out and add a needle? Maybe. But it's really, really good. In the interest of time, we decided to just do paw prints on 2 of the nails. There were some paw prints across various nails in the original design. Note the 5-second flash cure here, but there were paw prints on a couple, and we just thought, well, actually, in the interest of time, let's do this so that we're not rushing and we can spend time doing a really good job of the other ones. In my last video in Hannah's Witch Core nails, I kind of just did each nail on its own. I wasn't sure how I was going to edit together the video in the end, so I focused on each nail. This set of nails for Trudi is a lot more how I would do a set in real life working in the salon. So I did all of the pigment bases first, and then I will usually choose something between the nail that looks the hardest and the nail that looks the most fun. In saying that, sometimes I will leave the absolute hardest nail for last so that I know exactly how much time I have to work on it. So there's a few factors at play in how I choose which nail to do first and what have you. With this specific set, I chose the cat on the tree first because the tree looked easy. I've done those branches a million times for birds and stuff like that. I like doing leaves, so I did that one first. And then I did the one next to it because I did. And then I knew how much time I had left with Trudi, so I did the paw print ones. And now I have this one, which I don't know that was the hardest. The placement of the head made it slightly more tricky. So I have this one left to do, and I know exactly how much time I have to do it in. Why did I just clean and buff it, you ask? So this was something Trudi and I were discussing at the time. Oh, I interrupt myself to say that by buffing it, I took a little bit of the pigment off the top. So this is me using acrylic paint, or it might have been gel polish. I didn't see where I dipped. This was me just filling in, probably it'll be gel polish, filling in where the pigment just moved slightly, where I buffed it out. So Rather than panicking, you just fill it in, and at the very end, I promise you will not be able to tell. I did not need to go put in more sticky layers and more pigment and muck around. You just fix it. It's very easy. Anyways, why did I clean it and then buff it? Because I said to Trudi that the one thing about having coated it in correction gel, the nails in correction gel, and working over the top of that, was that it was a little bit slippery. The gel performs differently on a matte surface versus on a shiny surface. And so for this one, I decided to take it matte just because I wanted to work on it differently. And as discussed many times, this video is very much me learning as I go. And so last week I learned on Hannah that I really should have put a layer of correction gel to protect the pigment before I started doing my line work. This week on Trudi, we learned that after I do that layer of correction gel, I really should then buff it so I have a matte surface to work on. I really like this cat. I think this is my favorite cat of the set. I don't know. It could be the middle one, but I just like that he's so big. He's so in your face. And this nail I really felt good about doing just because I had now come to the point that I really felt like I knew exactly how I wanted to achieve these nails. Now that I was on the last one, I knew what to do. But that meant that this one was quite fun to do because I just was much more confident in just getting on with it instead of having to think the whole time. And I'm sure all of you, especially those of you who are students, but just nail techs in general, are aware of that tiredness that comes from having to think the entire time that you're working. There's something lovely about getting to the point of muscle memory and just focusing on talking to your client. Now, I haven't yet in this video bugged the crap out of you to pretty please comment down below, but as I said in my last video, I'm giving myself until the end of the year to reignite our YouTube channel and use it to make a significant difference in how we market Monaco Nail Academy. We run online and in-person nail tech training. If you are in New Zealand, you can do in-person training all around the country. If you're not, we have online courses that anyone around the world can do. We've had a YouTube channel for ages. I've put various amounts of effort into it at different times. Right now, I'm going to give myself until the end of the year to see what difference I can make to our marketing with the YouTube channel. The biggest thing you can do to help me is to comment down below on the video. And as I said in the last video, I am very bad for not really commenting on other people's videos. I'm going to change that because karma. But when I say to you, please comment below, I really genuinely mean, please can you go and comment below? Tell me what you want from these videos. I only have a few months to make it happen in this deadline because it's a lot of work. But if you could please tell me down below what you want from videos, what you don't like, what you'd like to see, or just what you had for dinner. I would really appreciate it. What did I have for dinner? Absolutely nothing, but it will probably be Marmite on toast. A little bit of butter to allow the Marmite to lubricate, and then a little bit of Marmite spread across, and then extra butter that doesn't melt, so you get like bites of extra butter with the Marmite. Oh, so good. Anyways, tell me your opinions on Marmite. It's more helpful if you tell me what you like about the video, but if it gets you to comment, I'll take Marmite opinions. While discussing dinner with you, I finished these with glossing gel, which is the Color Gloss top coat. I've cleansed them with isopropyl alcohol, or it's the artistic cleanser, then used a hot towel to take the dust off, and I'm finishing with Dardy oil from Famous Names, all available from monaco.ac.nz. I will put links in the description below this video if you want to find everything. But as you look and marvel at how freaking cute these nails are, what the heck, please do subscribe to the channel so that you can see what craziness we do next week. Check out our website, www.monaco.ac.nz. Tell me in the comments what you want from me, and hopefully I shall see you next week in another video. I'm going to go make toast now. Bye!